You've selected a show from the Podcast Jukebox, a DIY podcast network.
It's Will Shawn Podcast. The internet cried out for 2 more blowhards, and they courageously answered that call. Armed with the weapon of wit, each week they're joined by guests to discuss movies, television, pop culture, and anything else that's pissing them off. Take it away, boys.
I'm Will Link.
And I'm Sean David.
And this is Will Shawn Podcast.
With full presidential pardons. How you doing, Will?
So, I've been caught up in Lotto Fever.
Are you?
Not Powerball Lotto Fever, which is long done.
Scratchers?
By the time this goes up. Hamilton Lotto Fever.
Same.
I've every day.
Yeah.
I click my little thing to see.
See, if you were on Facebook, you would see that I had posted this week. There's no better check to my self-esteem than that morning notification that once again I did not win the Hamilton lottery.
You don't have other plans to see it, or do you have plans beyond this?
Unclear. There are some Pantages season tickets that are held by certain members of my family members who are not really interested in seeing Hamilton, and so now it has become it's like Ron. You know, we're just fighting, me and my siblings fighting over the birthright. This is
because who gets to go?
Yeah.
I say you get to go.
As the only one who would actually appreciate it, yes.
There you go. Every day.
But here's my biggest problem. I'm worried my biggest worry is what if I do win the lottery, because who do I take?
I've been thinking the same thing.
Yes.
It's
because do you bring a good friend? Do you bring someone who would appreciate it? Do you bring a potential romantic interest?
Well, I think if you have a potential romantic interest at the time, I get that. What I would not do is bring somebody like friend of the podcast, Alyssa Vaughn, who
she was not on my short list.
But who has already seen it.
Oh no! Anyone who's already seen it is out.
Already seen it.
Nah, you're out. Done.
Fuck you.
I don't even read the book. You're out.
Yeah. I've never even listened to the full cast recording.
Oh, I have. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I want to see. I've heard some songs, but I'm like, I want to see this.
But this causes me stress. Like if I win, because you got to buy the tickets right away. You don't get to chew on this for a week, and then you'd be like, hey, what are you doing tomorrow night? Oh, I'm babysitting. Oh, because
you gotta ask that.
Fuck those children. Keep them. Put them in the dryer. You'll get them in 3 hours.
I said the Hamilton tickets are the only thing like you drop. It's like the only excuses I will accept currently are I'm in the hospital. I have tickets for Hamilton that I got in the lottery last minute.
Exactly.
Those are the only things I would.
So let neither of us ever win the Hamilton lottery to save us from the misery of having to figure out who to invite.
Yeah.
Although it looks like, based on Facebook, it looks like, and I may be wrong on this, it looks like a friend of Megan Salinas' won and is inviting her.
I saw this on Twitter.
Yes.
So there you go.
So dreams can come true, people.
Dreams can come true. What's going on in the world of Will Shawn Podcast?
I want to thank everyone for listening. I want to thank the Podcast Jukebox Network. And if any of you have found your way to the show via some of the other shows on the network, please feel free to subscribe to us. Make sure you give us a star rating on iTunes. Leave us a note of praise. Most, you could leave us any kind of note, but we really just want praise.
Yeah.
I also want to congratulate Stephen Brandon and everyone behind Game of Thrones the musical. They are going to New York City, where they'll be performing off-Broadway later this fall.
That's fucking fantastic.
Yeah, they had notifications. They were in the New York Times, in the print and online editions, and in EW.com picked up the story.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Good for them. Who is the sponsor this week?
A movie that only comes along once in a generation. The film that Christy Lemire from RogerEbert.com described as perhaps meant as an homage to a bygone era. And A.A. Dowd at the AV Club hailed as borderline offensive and nearly incestuous. Jason Reitman's Labor Day is a movie you will want to share with your children and grandchildren. So roll up your sleeves, knead that dough, and enjoy a cherry pie of a film with the entire family.
Good old Labor Day.
I'm not letting this joke die.
It's a tradition.
It is.
On the show today, speaking of movies, it is the fall movie preview. We've had a lot of just Will Shawn episodes.
Here's another one.
Here's another one. But you're going to like it. I've gotten some compliments for our Films of the Century episode.
Oh, really?
I'm shocked. But
seriously.
Yes.
Should have really dropped silence into that list.
But Yeah, we're going to be breaking down. There are 128 new films.
So buckle in, people. This is going to run 4 hours long.
We will be breaking down less than half of that. But
So less than 64?
less than 64 of them. So let's get right to it.
Let's go. We got no time for this. Let's dive right in.
Let's start with September 8th.
Okay. Let's.
And there's a movie I am very excited about coming out that weekend. It.
I've already been burned once by Stephen King this year.
But this seems good. If you don't know, it's a classic Stephen King novel. Pennywise the Clown. He terrorizes the children. There was a 1990 miniseries that I recently...
Which was terrifying.
Yeah, I recently rewatched it. And it is... For 1990 network television, It is bloody and upsetting.
Yeah, no, it still terrifies me. I don't want to rewatch it ever. I think I would have more faith in this movie if it... This movie's been literally floating around through development for... like decades now, and every director under the sun has been attached to it. The problem with the story is that the novel is split into two. There's the child section and the adult section. I feel like a lot of the struggle must have been in trying to figure out which approach to take, and I think after the success of Stranger Things, it kind of settled in. So this kind of looks like Stranger Things light.
Light?
Well,
this looks like Stranger Things heavy.
Well, no, let me rephrase that. After Stranger Things, in a weird way, this feels derivative of Stranger Things, even though Stranger Things was heavily influenced by it.
That's a good point,
also,
actually.
They're doing the same mistake that they made with the Dark Tower movie, which is bringing in some like low-rent European director to handle it. I wanted a bigger name attached to this.
You are bringing too much Dark Tower misfortune baggage to this. Because so far, because this is soon enough that there have been early reviews, which have been very positive.
Okay.
The kids look great, and Pennywise looks
Pennywise acted by a lesser Skarsgård.
But he looks pretty terrifying.
But it wasn't that he was terrifying. It was a charmingness to Tim Curry's performance too. Well, he has to lure the children in.
Well, you know what's interesting? We haven't really heard him speak in these trailers.
He speaks like this: Oregon, Borgen, Schmorgen.
I hear it has some good scares. I think it looks slick. It looks good.
It's clowns. Children love clowns. Now, would you attend the clowns-only screening at the Alamo Drafthouse in Austin?
That sounds like the most terrifying fucking thing.
But they will have makeup artists there to do touch-ups.
Oh, my God. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. I think it's smart that they're only focusing on the kids.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming when this is a hit, and I think it's going to be a big hit because awareness and buzz of it's been pretty high, they'll go back and probably do an
Now, if the movie doesn't end with them running a train on Beverly like in the book, then I don't know.
That's the other thing.
The book makes some interesting creative choices. I mean, of course, I'm going to see this.
Okay, that was my next one.
Yes, I'm going to see it, but I'm going in with reservations.
I am very confident about it.
Okay.
September 15th. Mother.
Okay.
Mother exclamation point, I should say. Lowercase m, mother exclamation point, if we want to be
Is he like specific. In full Almodovar mode here?
This is Darren Aronofsky's new film starring Jennifer Lawrence, Javier Bardem, Ed Harris, and Michelle Pfeiffer. Great cast. Aronofsky always does something interesting, even if it's a bizarre, uneven, and outright terrible Noah movie.
I like that Noah movie. I had not seen the trailer for this until recently. It played before Good Time, and this was not what I was expecting. The posters and the marketing material made it look like some lush, crazy melodrama a la Almodovar, and then the trailer is showing me this like gritty home invasion movie.
It also looks very
like he doesn't have a budget. He's in post-movie jail after Noah.
But it looks very Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah, that's...
Like, these people... Like, this husband's got a secret.
Yeah.
He's bringing these strangers into his wife's life. I mean, there was even a recent poster that was very 80s.
Yeah, no, that was the...
Baby.
I'm sure it'll be very interesting. It just looked a lot skeezier than I thought it would be based on the marketing material.
But Aronofsky's one of those people that I always am going to take notice of. I'm always going to see his stuff. And I'm hoping this is Black Swan territory.
Okay.
Yeah, and good cast, too.
Yeah.
So we're both in for that. So now we're moving to a more busy weekend. September
11th. No.
September 22nd. And there are quite a few films that I think are interesting this week. And let's start with Kingsman: The Golden Circle. that first Kingsman movie was such a surprise and so much fun and so delightful and so smart.
It was fine. Let's calm down. It was fine.
I love that movie. However,
when was the last time you fired up Kingsman?
Well, I don't know yet, but if it's on TV, I'll stick with it. Particularly that whole scene in the church where he kills everybody. I also think the villain was very interesting. That film, his scheme was like. It was one of those, I'm going to save the world by being a horrific villain kind of schemes. But I think that movie was so much fun and such a surprise that this movie can only be a letdown.
Well, you got Channing Tatum as a cowboy with a shotgun.
As a statesman, because now there are Americans involved.
I don't know.
There's an American organization.
Colin Firth is back somehow.
This is my biggest problem with it. Because one of the things I loved about Kingsman, it was so ballsy in that they outright just killed Colin Firth.
This would be like if in Star Wars they killed off Obi-Wan Kenobi and then Empire Strikes Back he somehow came back to give advice to the hero. Stupid.
I have no idea how they're justifying this in the film.
It's gonna... I'm the first one was fine. It was interesting. I was thrown by the tone because it would go from being deadly serious action movie to really gross out infantile sex humor. And I never settled into, like, what is this movie supposed to be? Like, is this supposed to be juvenile James Bond, or is this supposed to be, like, Spy Kids with blood? I don't know.
Well, you're right about the tone. Like, even when they were training, suddenly, like, cadets die.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this isn't as much pure fun. But then it was fun. Like, it was kind of fun when everyone's heads explode.
Well, they did that in Mars Attacks.
But only to Martians. I don't know. Look, I like the first one a lot.
I feel like it's kind of movie that I am going to rely purely on the reviews. If the reviews come in, they're like, this movie's crap, I'm going to skip it.
I think this could be a lot of fun.
I feel like we got a Kick-Ass 2 situation on our hands here. Kick-Ass
2, not a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Also that weekend, Battle of the Sexes. This movie, it looks a little slight, but it also looks like it could be also an interesting... It's an interesting story. It's the Bobby Riggs, Billie Jean King match in the 70s. It was the big Battle of the Sexes. And it looks like Steve Carell as Bobby Riggs is giving an all-out kind of fun performance.
And Emma Stone?
Emma Stone is playing Billie Jean King.
I don't know. I feel like looking at the trailer of this, I feel like... I'm watching a version of that HBO, The Lonely Island documentary.
Well, you know what's interesting? When I said it feels kind of slight, because this does almost feel like an HBO movie.
Yeah.
Like, bro, almost like the way I felt about, like, it's sometimes these biopics, because HBO's done such a good... I remember when Trumbo came out, and I was like, this feels like an HBO movie. It was a fine movie. Yeah. And this feels like the same kind of thing. It feels like that slight kind of story HBO would do a hell of a job with, but as a feature film that you go to the theater. But I'm probably going to check it out just because of the names involved. I like both of them a lot. Any interest?
I don't know. I don't know anything about tennis.
Okay.
Everything I know about tennis was from, like, playing Wii.
Also this weekend, you have the Lego Ninjago movie.
No. Fool me once. You going to go see this Ninjago?
No, because I have trouble even saying Ninjago.
Yeah.
But I like Lego Batman.
Yeah, because you understood all the in-jokes and you understand the Batman world and the Batman universe. This is going to be filled with Ninjago jokes you're just not going to get.
Is Ninjago a thing?
I think it's I don't know if it's a independent property existing outside of Lego or if it's part of some internal Lego universe that's like a line.
Because I just figured it's a Lego movie with ninjas.
No, but there's like the Ninjago mythology. I don't know.
What? Wait, what?
I don't know. Just put a minion in there and make everyone happy.
I'm not... Look, here's the thing. I thought the Lego movie was great.
Yeah.
I thought Lego Batman was a ton of fun.
Because you like Batman.
I can't justify in a busy movie weekend going to see...
Unless everyone's like, holy shit, this is like the Lego movie we've all been waiting for.
I don't think that's going to happen.
No, it's going to be the Godfather 3 of Lego movies.
I mean, there are some cute moments in the trailer.
You want to sit through that for 90 frantic minutes?
I am probably out for Lego, unless, like you said, the reviews come in and
they should have done Lego Ninjago Unchained.
Now that I see. Well, let me ask you this: they make a Lego movie sequel proper. You go see it?
Well, if they don't fire Miller and Lord halfway through production.
And the other movie coming out that weekend.
I got no time for your Lego hypotheticals. I don't know.
The other movie coming out that weekend, Stronger. This is about the Boston bombing.
Again?
Yes, but this is a more human story than
What?
Mark Wahlberg running around trying to solve.
Okay, I'm sorry. Listen, hold on.
Trying to solve the case.
It was a tragedy. People lost limbs. People lost their lives. It was a really traumatizing event. Unlike any given day, there's a suicide explosion in Baghdad or Afghanistan that kills like 80 to 100 people, and no one's making Mark Wahlberg movies about those explosions. We have 2 people die in a little sputtery bomb, and like we have 2 movies now about it. America needs to like man up.
Okay, first of all, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I didn't see Patriots Day.
I saw it. Someone was watching on the airplane in front of me, so I kind of saw the scenes of it.
Well, it seemed like one of those, like...
Jin Yang from Silicon Valley's in it.
It seemed... Oh, yeah, I saw him in the trailer. But it seemed like one of those, like, rah-rah America kind of thing. This one seems a little bit more of a human story, which makes me more interested. It's about Jeff Bauman, who was the guy who lost both his legs, but then he did... I guess he's probably a character in Patriot Day. But I almost said games.
Yeah, it's a good movie. I haven't seen that in a while.
Jake Gyllenhaal. This is like Jake Gyllenhaal Oscar bait. It's going to be playing at Toronto.
Every Jake Gyllenhaal is Jake Gyllenhaal Oscar bait.
Here's the reason why, though. I mean, I think the trailer looks emotional and good, but here's the reason why I am going to see it no matter what. It stars Jake Gyllenhaal and Tatiana Maslany.
There we go.
She's the female lead. She plays the girlfriend.
The long-suffering girlfriend.
Who was running that day.
Yeah.
And he was there cheering her on, and he lost his legs because he was being a good boyfriend cheering on Tatiana Maslany. I want to see Tatiana Maslany doing a Boston accent. I want to see Tatiana Maslany, like, in an Oscar bait film. This is like her biggest...
Who's directing this?
That's a good question.
I'll look it up.
I got it here.
Right.
Or maybe I don't.
I'll look it up. You just,
But this is gonna be her biggest, like, movie role so far. So
Here, Stronger. Later. David Gordon Green. Oh.
David Gordon Green.
So you got a real director
somebody.
on this. Okay.
I got to it at the same time here. Yeah,
All right.
David Gordon Green. So that might
And it's
be
got
one.
Clancy Brown from Highlander.
Although, let me tell you what. David Gordon Green is weird because it's like...
He's hit and miss.
Oh, he made these really small, interesting, humanistic films. And they did Pineapple Express, which is fun.
And then he did that Knights movie, the medieval stoner movie.
And then he lost me.
Yeah.
But, you know...
Maybe this is like a return to George Washington.
September 29th.
Okay.
American Made.
M-A-D-E or M-A-I-D?
M-A-D.
This is the Tom Cruise as this is the Narcos spin-off film.
Yeah, Doug Liman directing, and I liked Cruise's last team up with Liman.
Yeah?
I liked Edge of Tomorrow, a.k.a. Live, Die, Repeat. But I'll tell you what, this is him. He's working for the government and flying.
And it looks like he's having fun in this movie. The last time Cruise doesn't look like he's having fun in any of his movies.
But I'll tell you what, the trailer's not grabbing me. There's nothing that screams original about this. There's nothing that screams like makes me want to see.
It's just like a Scorsese mashup.
Yeah, it's like
things were crazy. You know, a lot of voiceover, a lot of antics and hijinks and a heavy sound. Yeah, it's like Blow meets a Scorsese movie,
which is like a ripoff of a Scorsese movie anyway.
Yeah.
It's just not grabbing me. This is one that I will really be if all of a sudden A.O. Scott writes like the best movie Tom Cruise has made in a decade, like then I'm like, okay, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Okay.
So
could be a fun ride this could be a fun ride at the theaters.
I'd rather go see Jake Gyllenhaal lose his legs.
Oh, who wouldn't? That's Nightcrawler 2.
Well, if you don't want to see American Made on September 29th, you could always watch Ellen Page die in Flatliners.
Sidebar, you know what I found out?
What?
The actress who plays Catherine, the daughter on Veep.
Yeah.
You know who she is? It's Kiefer Sutherland's daughter.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of Flatliners.
Yes.
I did. You know what? I had known that, and then I forgot that.
Yeah.
Did you like the original Flatliners?
I never really saw it. I was like too young when it came out, And then it was like on TV, and I've seen parts of it, but I've actually never seen the original. It seems like some like early '90s schlock.
I don't think it's that great. And it's Schumacher, so you know it's
yeah, but it's got Julia Roberts. It's got
Kiefer Sutherland,
Eric Stoltz.
Is he in it?
Who's in that?
And
this looks fine. It looks like just another crappy remake of a '90s movie. It looks totally forgettable and.
Yeah, I think I'm out for this. I didn't love Flatlines. I was having
1990. Let's see here. Hold on.
Okay, who you got?
Kiefer Sutherland, Kevin Bacon, Julia Roberts, William Baldwin, Oliver Platt. Hope Davis is in this. There you go. That's your murderer's row.
It's not a bad cast.
No.
I was having lunch with
Jean de Bont cinematography.
I was having lunch with a friend of the podcast, Madeline Costner.
Yes.
And this movie came up.
Yeah.
And she said, I am really excited about it. And I said, why? And she said, it checks off a big box for me, which is movies about medical students breaking the rules. Which just was so specific, I wanted to give it a shout.
It looks like if Ellen Page were in a Final Destination movie.
It does seem like a weird role for Ellen Page.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not, because she does like things like Super. She does things like that are a little more on the edge.
I feel like this was something that was started out as something and then turned into something very different.
I'm not in.
Nah. All right.
This brings us to October. I almost said in the nominees.
Yeah.
October 6th. Blade Runner 2049.
Yes.
This is the Denis Villeneuve directed, Ridley Scott produced sequel to Blade Runner, starring Ryan Gosling and Harrison Ford reprising his role as Deckard.
Deckard, the replicant who somehow aged into a crusty old stoner.
Well, is he a replicant?
He's Ridley Scott even came out on the record said he's a replicant.
But other people involved in that production don't believe he's a replicant.
Other people in that production have no idea what was going on.
Well, how do you feel about Blade Runner?
So I never saw it until much later, and I saw that director's cut DVD. I've never seen the original version. I think I've seen it exactly once on DVD. I love the hell out of it. I would love to see it on the big screen.
I thought you had seen it on the big screen.
Did I?
I thought you saw it with Jared Garcia.
Yes. I'm sorry. I saw it twice. I saw it once on DVD, and I did see it with Jared on the big screen. You're right. You are absolutely right. And I loved it both times. It's a beautiful, fantastic, interesting, weird movie, and I just don't know. As good as Denis Villeneuve is and has proven himself to be, I'm going to rewatch the original before I go into this. I don't know that, unless I'm worried about them leaning too heavily on the first one and not making this enough of its own thing.
The visuals already look stunning.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that the story's any good.
Let me say this, and I'm obviously in all the way, even if this came out and got the shittiest of reviews, it's like I have to see this for myself. However, I have very mixed feelings about Blade Runner.
Yeah.
Blade Runner is a film, I don't own it. I appreciate it more than I enjoy it, if that makes sense. Like, I look at it and I say, so much came after this, and so much important came after this. But the movie never grabbed me in the way it's grabbed a lot of other
you don't like the finale, and just the visuals and the mood of the movie and the soundtrack?
I like the movie.
Yeah.
The soundtrack's great.
Yeah.
The mood of it, but it's never
It's
been
Vangelis' second best soundtrack after Alexander.
Okay. Okay.
But it's never one, like, it's not, I think it's one of Ridley Scott's, like, absolute best.
I would agree with that, too. But
yeah.
for some reason, it hasn't, I know people who, like, devour it, and I need to watch every version of it. Like,
I don't need to watch every version of it.
I'm good. I've seen it. I've seen it more than once.
Yeah.
I'll watch it again probably before this comes out, but I don't have, I feel like I don't have the love of it like I do for some other classic sci-fi like Alien or Space Odyssey or Star Wars.
I really want to see, though, is I need Denis Villeneuve to start doing sequels, like going through the Ridley Scott catalog. I want to see 1493, Paradise Reconquered. I need to see The River Wild 2 and Another Good Year.
He didn't do
No, which one did he do? He did White Squall?
Yes.
Okay, there we go.
He could do like...
I knew there was two like whitewater rafting movies that came out that year.
Here's a movie I think we're both very excited for on October 6th, The Florida Project.
Yes.
This is from our good friends who did Tangerine.
So Sean Baker, the director, and Chris Bergach, the co-writer and producer of the film.
Chris, who has been on the podcast to talk about Tangerine, and man, was I impressed with Tangerine.
Yeah, it was one of the best movies of that year. Hopefully, maybe we'll get him back on the pod closer to this movie coming out.
We should reach out to him. Yes. Florida Project, Willem Dafoe,
and a bunch of kids.
He manages a motel in Florida, and there's a bunch of kids, clearly with not maybe the best parents, living.
And they're living like in the shadow of Disney World. So it's like in Orlando, and these kids are like so close to the Magic Kingdom, but like it's completely unattainable.
He seems to have, Sean Baker has this knack for telling these stories about people on the fringe of society that we see all the time. Like when I would drive up and down Highland, and you'd see those ladies out there outside of donut time.
It never occurred to you to stop and pull one of them into a car wash?
No, it did not. But it's like he makes movies about those people, and Tangerine is such a...
What do you mean, those people?
Tangerine is such a just honest look at that part of society, and I think Florida Project's going to be the same way, this honest human look. I'm excited.
It's got great reviews coming out of Sundance. A24 snapped it up, and I think this may be the movie that like takes them to the two of them to the next level.
It also played a con.
You know what this means after this?
But con what?
Jurassic World 3, Sean Baker film.
I feel like they're also... well, I don't know. Maybe they will go that route at some point.
We'll see.
Who knows? Also that day, The Mountain Between Us.
Is this that like depressing story based on the book?
I don't know how depressing it is, and I didn't read the book, but it's about Idris Elba. It's not about Idris Elba.
Oh yeah, but they crash land and they fall in love.
And Kate Winslet, they crash in the middle of nowhere and they fall in love and they have to get out of the wilderness.
But do they bake pies?
I don't know. I was thinking about this. There are two Kate Winslet movies, and I was thinking about them both when you were talking about Labor Day.
The Mountain. I'm pretty sure if this isn't based on a novel, it should
I believe
be.
it is based on a novel.
But Charles Martin.
I don't know anything about the novel, but it looks like it looks like it could be a really harrowing tale. And look, these are two great actors. That it's a survival story. I like those survival stories.
Like Alive, only with handsome people.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think of this? You in?
It looks schmaltzy. I don't know. If it gets good reviews, I'll check it out. So a lot of these movies are really review dependent.
Well, here's one that same day I know you're going to go see. My Little Pony, the movie. That's all you. That's all you, Sean.
Friendship is Magic 2?
I have nothing to say about that.
Neither do I.
To make that joke. October 13th.
Getting into Halloween movies now.
And we have a horror movie coming out that day from our friends at Blumhouse. Happy Death Day. This is the Groundhog Day of slasher films.
Okay.
It's about a girl. She wakes up. She had like a drunken night.
Yeah. When is Blumhouse making Valentine's Night? That's what I want to know.
Hey, that's a great script.
Yeah.
Man, that is a good question. I gotta reach out to Blumhouse.
Yeah. Hey, Jason.
So this is about a girl. Like she wakes up after drunk, and like she goes through this whole day. It's her birthday, and there's a big party that night, and then she's murdered. And then when she's murdered, she wakes up again. And
so they basically pitched its Groundhog's Day of slasher movies. Like,
yes.
Okay.
Just what I said.
Yeah.
And you know,
I had to say it again because
I saw the trailer for it, and I said, you know what? This movie could end up being a stupid, fun little time at the movies.
Only if Stephen Tobolowsky's in it in a cameo role.
So, I don't know. The one thing that it has going for it in my mind is Blumhouse has made some really good stuff lately.
Yeah.
What it doesn't have going for me is that, like, it's a slasher movie with a PG-13 rating. But
Will needs blood and guts.
But, I don't know. This one, if I hear positive things from the horror community, I might go see it.
A.K.A. Madeline Costner?
Yeah, pretty much. And also, that day, Marshall is coming out.
We are?
Yeah. It's a biopic of Thurgood Marshall.
Okay. Starring?
Who do you think is starring?
No, I'm going to get into trouble. David Oyelowo.
No.
Okay.
I'll give you a hint. He played Jackie Robinson. He played
the other,
James Brown.
Black Panther?
Yeah.
Okay.
Chadwick Boseman.
Boseman, yes.
He plays every, like, great African-American character of the 20th century.
This is a problem. We need more African-American actors.
And now he's playing Thurgood Marshall.
Okay.
In a Thurgood Marshall biopic.
Okay.
Which I worry is going to have the same thing where it's going to feel kind of slight and could have been an HBO movie.
Let me see who's behind this one.
Well, I mean, I could tell you that in half a second.
Marshall.
Or maybe I can't.
Damn it, this is hard to search for. There it is. This is... Reggie Hudlin. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I keep getting to it at the exact same moment you do.
The director of Boomerang and House Party. No, but Reggie Hudlin actually is a very, very, very talented director. Oh, Dan Stevens is in this. Kate Hudson, Sophia Bush, Sterling K. Brown, convict James Cromwell, Josh
It's
Gad.
got a good cast.
Yeah.
You know, it's and
But also this is a biopic and it could fall into the biopic trap. You're right.
so we will see as we get closer.
You're always up for a good Supreme Court biopic.
October 20th. Geostorm.
Nope.
This movie.
Starring me.
Somebody recently at a party said you look like.
He didn't know who the actor was. Said, Sean, have you seen the trailer for Geostorm? Yes. You look like the main character. I go, excuse me, I do not remember this. And then I said, is Topher Grace in it? They said no. And I'm like, well, I don't know what you're talking about.
This person thought you looked like Gerard Butler. I love you, Sean. This person's out of their fucking mind.
Yeah.
But it looks terrible.
This is like a low rent. What was the
2012.
Yes, thank you. No,
Or
the
Day
other one.
After Tomorrow.
Yeah, Day After Tomorrow.
This looks like, but it looks like low rent Roland Emmerich.
Yeah.
And I like Roland Emmerich because he's like stupid fun.
Well, that Gerard Butler has been. What was he was in the other low rent? Olympus Has Fallen,
which wasn't Roland Emmerich.
Right, he was in low rent. He was
in low rent White House Down.
White House Down, yes.
Which ended up getting a sequel.
Yeah.
London Has Fallen.
Which my parents love for some weird reason.
This movie, it's like the weather has gone crazy because we control the weather with space satellites now. I don't know.
I blame Elon Musk.
It looks like a fucking nightmare. Also that weekend, The Snowman. This is Michael Fassbender.
Okay.
So I always like.
Is he an assassin?
But this seems like low rent David Fincher. It's based off a series of Danish detective novels.
Okay.
And he's hunting for a killer known as the Snowman.
Is this like the Falcon and the Snowman? Is that?
Nope. This is the Snowman. There's a killer and he's the Snowman.
Okay. Does it take place in Sweden, or are they like relocated to the Hamptons, like the American version?
I believe they've relocated.
Did the Fincher version of Lady and the Dragon, what the hell is it called?
Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Did that take place in Sweden?
Yes, it did.
I think that movie would have been better if Daniel Craig had played it as Joe Bang.
Let me tell you what. Did you like the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo?
The original, yeah.
Well, I love the Swedish
the Fincher
version.
one, I saw it. I couldn't give a shit about it, and I don't need to ever see it again.
I thought it was too slick.
Yeah.
But the Snowman looks like, it's based off a series of where Michael Fassbender plays Harry Hole, the brilliant...
Really? It sounds like a porn name.
The brilliant detective.
Harry Hole.
I don't know. I can't.
You can't get into Fassbender's Harry Hole?
I can't get into Fassbender's Harry Hole. But here's a movie that weekend I can get into. Wonderstruck.
Is this also an end of the world movie?
No, this is Todd Haynes' new film.
Okay.
It played at Cannes. It takes place in two different time periods.
1954, 1955?
One of them, I believe, is I believe it's the 20s.
Okay.
And the whole section in the 20s is like black and white, like a silent film. And the main character of that is this deaf girl played by a deaf actress.
Okay.
And then in that's in 1927. And then there's is it Modern Time? Oh shit.
Well, for him, Modern Times is 1954.
Well,
it's a Carol sequel.
There's a more updated. I don't think it's today, but
okay.
I apologize.
2003.
Oh, 1977. I know I had it here somewhere. 1977 with Julianne Moore, and apparently there are these two ongoing storylines that apparently connect in a very interesting way.
Someone's granddaughter.
I like Todd Haynes a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I could do without Carol, and you know what else I could do without Carol? About Carol, I could do without all the rapturous praise that Carol got when it came out.
I think Carol is a very good movie that didn't quite work for me as much as I wanted it to.
Right.
But I love Far From Heaven. I loved his Mildred Pierce.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm in for this.
Okay.
As an awards contender, you're gonna see it.
Yeah.
You're seeing it.
Yeah.
October 27th. Jigsaw. The Jigsaw Killer's back, Sean.
Jeez.
From the Saw movies.
All right, next.
Yeah. I saw the first two Saw movies.
First one was good.
First one was like a solid kind of thriller, and then things got more and more into just torture porn territory. The director of this film says this one's going to be more fun.
Oh, is it going to be a prequel set in the 80s so we can find out how he became Jigsaw?
I don't know. I think they already did that, didn't they?
I don't know. All I know is that when the last Saw movie came out, they would run these marathons where you can sit and watch like all 6 Saw movies, and then the latest. Like, who wants to do that? Who is staying up all night to watch 6 Saw movies in a row? What kind of sick, twisted mind does this?
Here's another film, though, that same day that I'm there opening day.
Okay.
Played at Cannes. It's playing at Toronto. It's from one of our favorites, Yorgos Lanthimos.
Yes.
Killing of a Sacred Deer. Yorgos Lanthimos did Dogtooth. He did The Lobster. He does these very smart, very darkly funny, very upsetting, high-concept films.
Yeah.
I know little to nothing.
Is Colin Farrell in this?
Killing of a Sacred Deer, other than that Colin Farrell and Nicole Kidman star in it.
Okay.
It has to do with, I believe he plays a surgeon who is living with Nicole Kidman's family. I know very little about it beyond that, and quite frankly, I don't want to know. But I am there. I am there for anything Yorgos Lanthimos does, because you know it's always going to be interesting.
Yep.
You're in?
I'm in.
Did you ever see his film Alps?
No.
It's not as good as the other ones, but it's, again, maybe worth a look.
Okay.
And also that day, Suburbicon comes out. This is the new film directed by George Clooney.
Oh, okay.
It's
Hot off Monuments Men.
Hot off Monuments Men. This was a script that the Coen brothers wrote in the 80s.
Okay.
Then around Oh Brother Where Art Thou, they were like, hey George, you want to be in this movie? And George Clooney was like, yeah, sure. And then the Coen brothers never made it.
That sounds about them.
And Clooney was looking for a new film to do. And he said, hey, remember that script you guys showed me? Can I just make it? And they're like, yeah. And they gave it to him, and he did some rewrites with Grant Heslov.
Yeah.
And now it's his new film. Clooney, who I think also has kind of...
He needs a hit.
Spotty as a director, in my opinion.
Yes. I mean, basically, his only good movie is Good Night, Good Luck.
I like Confessions of a Dangerous Mind.
Yeah, it's got problems, though, but Good Night, Good Luck is a masterpiece. It's no Leatherheads.
Matt Damon Leatherheads. Matt Damon plays he seems like kind of like a regular, like he's an insurance guy, just a regular guy, and like he gets in with mobsters.
So it's like The Informant.
And he kills mobsters, and it looks like it has that darkly comedic Coen Brothers thing. Here's something that worries me about it. The trailer had that like kind of Coen Brother feely thing to it, except there was like some like it takes place in the 50s, but there was like a modern song playing on the soundtrack, a hip modern song.
Yeah, but the trailer is not necessarily indicative of what the final movie's going to be.
No, I worry.
All right.
But I'll see it.
Yeah.
Now on to November. And here's one that I circled specifically for you. A Bad Mom's Christmas.
Yes.
And I said it because you saw Bad Moms.
It was a good movie.
I never saw it.
It's hilarious. It's like, if Girls' Night with a bunch of white women.
I'm surprised it hasn't like popped up on HBO, or has it? I don't know.
How have you missed this? It's charming and ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, but not everybody feels that way.
Well, they're wrong.
So are you down for a Bad Mom sequel? Do you want to see these ladies on an adventure at Christmas time?
I do. I want to go with a friend, get like 2 martinis in me, and you sit down, you enjoy a Bad Mom's Christmas.
Well, maybe if I catch up on the first one.
Well, if you're in the Bad Moms ECU.
Yeah. Then maybe
you also need to read. They did a 8-volume mini graphic novel that bridges the film, so you got to make sure you catch up on that. And there's a 3-season web series you got to watch too.
I'll catch up.
Yeah, Kristen Bell and Mila Kunis have been busy.
Also that day, LBJ.
This is another biopic.
There's another biopic.
Chadwick Boseman.
Woody Harrelson as LBJ.
All right, Texas boy.
Now, we just had an LBJ film, though.
But that was a very specific, that wasn't really a biopic. That was Bryan Cranston.
Just about the Voting Rights Act.
And Bryan Cranston was phenomenal as LBJ, but I could see Woody Harrelson. He's from Texas. He's got the swagger.
Now, here's the other thing about it.
Yeah.
It is directed by Rob Reiner.
Uh-oh.
Now, Rob Reiner is an interesting character in film history here because Spinal Tap, Princess Bride, Stand By Me,
Misery,
When Harry Met Sally, Misery, Few Good Men, American President. That is a run with only the blip being in the middle there of North.
But that was at the end of that run, though. I was right in the middle there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a run as good as anyone I could think of as a filmmaker. And then he's done jack shit since. He's did The Bucket List, which I think is a terrible film.
He did that Graduate sequel that he had to take over from the director.
Yeah. But here's why maybe I have a little bit of hope for it. Rob Reiner is all about politics. I like that he's directing something that at least has to do with politics in some way, even if it's the politics of the 1960s.
Sorry, I'm going through Rob Reiner's filmography here. Oof.
I mean, things get rough after The American President.
Oh, and The Sure Thing, which is a great
There's
80s
another
classic. One. You're not a big This Is Us fan?
This is, A Story of Us.
Story of Us, Being Charlie, The Magic of Belle Isle. Ugh.
But I might give LBJ a shot. And also that day, Thor Ragnarok.
Yes.
Looks fucking great. Looks like just a hell of a good time.
Yeah. Looks like Marvel's finally, after 14 movies, letting the shackles off a little bit. It looks colorful. It looks brighter. It doesn't have the same kind of drab palette that the other Marvel films do. It doesn't have that muddy look.
Well, it's doing some psychedelic space thing, too.
Well, I mean, there's a lot going on here. Starting with Guardians 2, they began using a different camera, and they've also changed the way they color balance their films a bit, so the colors pop a lot more, and we see that like with Thor Ragnarok, and hopefully this will translate into like the next generation of Marvel movies as well. This looks like a ton of fun, and it's because, we always talk about this now with the Marvel movies. They've already put the work in. They can just drop us into any adventure. We don't need to get any ramp-up time. Everyone knows what this all is, so you can just strap in and watch Jeff Goldblum be a goof in space makeup.
Cate Blanchett looks badass as the villain here. She crushes the hammer in that preview.
Yeah, well, that's not good. Thor's in a pickle.
I am looking forward to it. November 10th.
V for Vendetta 2.
Murder on the Orient Express.
I'm nervous about this.
I'm nervous about this, too. I am a big fan of Sidney Lumet's version with Albert Finney as Hercule Poirot.
Who else is in that? I want to watch that again.
In that original one,
yeah.
You got Sean Connery, Anthony Perkins, Lauren Bacall, Ingrid Bergman, Vanessa Redgrave.
I want to rewatch that.
Michael York. Yeah, it's a good...
That's a cast.
I own it on DVD if you ever want to sit down and watch it.
We have 4 hours after this to kill. So.
But this one stars Kenneth Branagh.
Yeah.
And it's also directed by Kenneth Branagh.
Which is...
And they're doing the same thing, having that all-star cast.
Yeah.
Michelle Pfeiffer, Judi Dench, Penelope Cruz,
Vanessa Redgrave, Sean Connery,
Johnny Depp's in it. He's
is like Marion Cotillard in this?
No.
Daveed Diggs is in it. From Hamilton.
Lamar Odom Jr.
Oh, is that who it is? Okay, I knew it was one of the Hamiltonians.
Yeah. Daisy Ridley.
Yeah.
Josh Gad.
Yeah, A-list all the way.
Josh Gad's
Come on, Josh Gad. They should got Jack Black.
And Josh Gad's another guy I can't get behind, even though I saw him on Broadway and he was amazing. And yet
in the Frozen musical.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Also that weekend, a movie that I think looks really good to me. 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Have you seen the trailer for this?
I don't know what this is.
It's Martin McDonagh's new film.
Okay.
Who...
So he of 7 Psychopaths?
I do not like 7 Psychopaths, but I love In Bruges.
Yeah.
And this stars Frances McDormand.
Okay.
In a role where she's this woman whose daughter is killed, and and it's
why are there midgets?
his daughter is killed, and she feels like no one's doing a job of trying to figure this out.
Okay.
Like that the police, everybody's like fucking
Yeah.
idiots. So she puts up these billboards basically calling out the police, and this causes a big problem in the town. And she's like kind of full blown, like not give a shit, cursing everyone out. The trailer is very funny.
Okay.
Good cast. Sam Rockwell's in it. Woody Harrelson. It looks like after In Bruges, like I'll give Martin McDonagh's anything he does, I'll give him a shot.
Well, he has a bunch of plays that are extremely well regarded.
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go. But I didn't like Seven Psychopaths. I was disappointed in that. Did you ever see it?
No, I never ended up seeing it.
It's not very good. Speaking of not very good, November 17th. This is the first case of a movie that I know is going to be a problem, but I am definitely going to go see it, and it is Justice League.
Ugh.
Oh my god. I know I'm going to see it. Because now they've got me fooled because it's like Wonder Woman was really great. At least she'll probably be good in this movie.
Yeah, the whole movie, you're going to see that movie is going to be 90% Wonder Woman and the rest.
Good.
Yeah.
Then maybe it'll be good.
Yeah.
I don't. It's like you were talking about aesthetics, and you were talking about Marvel, how things are opening up and being brighter and more interesting. After Wonder Woman, I think is great, but Wonder Woman, I do think the final battle in Wonder Woman is a problem. Like it's not very well done, and I think it's because in the DC universe, all these battles look like a fucking video game.
Yeah.
Where Marvel, like, you know, say what you will that maybe the battles are repetitive, but they look like they take place in the real world at least.
Or in a parking lot outside of an Atlanta Walmart.
Which is more real world than when all of a sudden everything turns into like video game craziness when Batman and Superman are fighting people, you know? I don't know.
I don't know, there was some chatter that like there's some big DC bad guy that was supposed to be the bad guy for this, but then they're having some other bad guy be the ultimate bad guy so they can tease the big ultimate bad guy for some future Justice League nonsense. And
DC doesn't know what the fuck they're doing.
No.
As evidenced by the fact that like now they're doing an independent Joker film that has nothing to do with this universe.
It's going to be like Mean Streets, but with the Joker, because that's what you all asked for.
I'd rather that. Yeah. I'd rather that. November 22nd, I guess this is our Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah. Is there a Pixar movie this year?
It's funny you should say that, because the Pixar movie this year is Coco.
Oh, yes, this looks delightful.
This does look delightful. It's about a kid who goes to the land of the dead.
Did you see the...
He's a musician. He's really into...
But did you see the animated film Guillermo del Toro produced, The Book of Life?
No, but I've heard wonderful things.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful, wonderful, fantastic movie, and but this looks good too.
Yeah, and I hear the music's gonna be great, and this kid's just transported into the land of the dead,
featuring 12 new songs by Carlos Santana.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the case, but you know, and it's Mexican.
Yeah, well, you know.
So
this is our peace offering to them.
Yeah, we made a wonderful Pixar movie. Look, Pixar movies, you know, for the most part, as long as you're not about a car
or a dinosaur,
you're going to be pretty good. So I'm in for Coco. Also,
you're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Also, talk about Oscar bait. Darkest Hour. This is
like Elizabeth
Joe Wright directed.
Joe Wright.
Yeah.
Oh, right, yes, okay. I was thinking Joe, the guy who did Narc and Aces
Joe
Wild.
Carnahan.
Yeah.
No, Joe Wright directed
yes.
Winston Churchill film about, like, you know, it's, you know, fighting them on the beaches.
Yeah. Who's playing Winston Churchill?
Gary Oldman.
Not Chadwick Boseman.
Not Chadwick Boseman. Gary Oldman. Gary Oldman looks the greatest Churchill. Gary Oldman's one of our great actors who's never won an Oscar, and I see this trailer and I'm like, well, he's getting nominated for this.
Okay. Yes. I mean, I love Joe Wright, even though sometimes I don't necessarily love his movies, but
I hate the movie Atonement.
Yeah, but I love Pride and Prejudice. I love Hannah, and I love his Anna Karenina.
Pride and Prejudice is good.
And Anna Karenina, I think, is an overlooked masterpiece. It's a fantastic movie.
So yeah, Darkest Hour. I am in for that, and also that day.
Oh, he did Peter Pan. Ooh.
That was his last one. That Pan movie, which got panned.
Don't.
Also, just in time for Thanksgiving holiday, Bruce Willis in a remake of Death Wish.
Who asked for this?
I don't know, but Eli Roth decided to give it to us. Do you like the original Death Wish?
I don't even think I've ever seen it. Is that Charles Bronson?
Yeah, it's a solid movie.
I don't know.
The
I don't think I've
problem
seen
is, by the time you and me became of age where we were watching movies, there were all these Death Wish sequels with diminishing returns and insanity. Like by Death Wish 3, he's like walking around the South Bronx with a bazooka, you know?
New York in the 80s.
But the original Death Wish is actually a solid film, and the Charles Bronson character is a great moment in the first Death Wish, where after he kills his first punk out on the street or whatever, he throws up.
Okay.
He goes home and he throws up, and it's this great little thing of killing people is hard. I feel like this movie's
not going to have that moment.
Yeah. Unless there's more to it, I don't know. But Death Wish is not high on my list as of now. December.
This is winter now. I thought we were just doing fall movies.
Winter's December 21st.
I don't know. Just what's next?
But we're getting into some good ones.
Okay.
The Disaster Artist. December 1st.
All right.
The Disaster Artist. There are a few movies I'm more excited for than this. This is the story of the making of The Room, based off of the book.
Yeah.
That Greg Sestero wrote about his experience working on The Room. If you have never seen The Room,
go see The Room.
Go see The Room. I have seen The Room in theaters more than any other film ever, I guess, because I've seen it in theaters 17 times, because it was fun midnight screens. You and me used to go to this.
We're room hipsters.
Before, it's the one thing in life that I get very well, you weren't there when. I was a fan of The Room before. We were going back in the day before anyone even knew what this thing was.
Yeah, when we just walked in 5 minutes before midnight and just bought a ticket.
Yeah. And it's become this great cult thing. This looks amazing.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
I don't know. I saw the trailer. It looks fantastic. It looks weird. That the way they recreated this weird, shitty movie. This is going to be I don't know how well it's going to do if you're not familiar with the movie. I feel like it has a very niche audience. But no one's just going to walk into this,
But there's already awards buzz.
Okay.
Much in the same way Ed Wood. And this could, if done right, this could be like Ed Wood.
Okay. R.I.P. Martin Landau.
That same day, Wonder Wheel. Woody Allen's new film.
Oh. Coming out in December.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Maybe it's a little Oscar baity. But then again, I think Cassandra's Dream came out in December too.
Okay.
This stars Kate Winslet.
Okay.
She it takes place back in the days of Woody's youth.
Okay. The good old days.
In Coney Island,
She play a beleaguered Jewish housewife?
She plays a housewife of Jim Belushi.
Okay.
Who is the operator of the carousel at Coney Island.
Okay.
And she falls for a young, attractive lifeguard played by Justin Timberlake.
Okay.
But also who has fallen for this young, attractive lifeguard, Jim Belushi's estranged daughter played by Juno Temple.
This could be interesting.
Yeah,
I foresee lots of hijinks. And
I see shades, though, of Purple Rose of Cairo with the housewife kind of thing falling for a possibly unattainable man.
Well, at least this gets us out of the trap of Woody Allen trying to write stories about modern-day life. The Kate Winslet won't be poring over her computer homework every night.
Let me tell you what, Blue Jasmine is so good and Cate Blanchett's so good in it, but the fact that Woody Allen doesn't know anything about computers is such a joke in that movie. I am all in. Woody, Kate Winslet, one of my favorite actresses. I am all in.
Jim Belushi, your favorite Belushi.
Jim Belushi's doing some pretty good work on Twin Peaks right now.
Next level stuff.
December 8th. All the Money in the World. This is Ridley Scott's new film.
Okay.
It's about the kidnapping of J. Paul Getty's, what was it?
Oh, yeah. Balthazar Getty's. It's like Balthazar Getty's son or something, or?
Yeah, was it Balthazar Getty?
Well, maybe he was one that was kidnapped.
No, it was his 16-year-old grandson of J. Paul Getty.
Okay.
Kevin Spacey plays J. Paul Getty. Michelle Williams plays the mother.
Mark Wahlberg's in this.
Yeah, Mark. That's the one thing I worry about a little bit.
We got ourselves a Getty.
He's the ex-CIA agent, and I don't know the full story about this kidnapping, but I know the kidnapping takes some crazy turns. I think they cut off like body parts from the grandson and sent them to him. Like shit gets crazy. I'm gonna check it out based on the pedigree of those involved. Also, that day is a movie I am very excited for. The Shape of Water, Guillermo del Toro's new film.
Yes.
Have you seen the trailer for
No.
this? It looks... Guillermo del Toro is one of those people, I will always go see what he does because I think there's an infectious, fun energy that he brings to his films, like a guy playing with his toys kind of thing, a kid playing with his toys. But this one is the first one since Pan's Labyrinth from the trailer that it looks like it's really harking back to something mysterious and beautiful. And it's
I didn't like Crimson Peak. I thought it was a little inert.
I can't disagree with you on that. This one, it's about it takes place during the Cold War, and it's about a mute woman played by Sally Hawkins, who works in like this kind of, she like cleans up in like this laboratory where they are studying this like fucking merman type creature, and
From Hellboy.
Played by Doug Jones from Hellboy. But it looks like it looks really beautiful, and I am all in for this.
Okay.
Okay. December 15th. A little independent science fiction film known as Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
Moving on.
We will probably end up talking about that a lot.
We'll move on from this. We know.
It's going to be good.
It's going to be good.
So we can move right to December 20th.
Yeah.
Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle.
Okay, let me say something.
You're going to say, I think, the same thing everyone's been saying, but say it.
The first one was fine.
Yeah.
The summer of 1993, 94.
I think it's 94.
I must have bought tickets to Jumanji about 7 times because that was my golden pass into getting into all the R-rated movies. You would just buy for Jumanji. So I put a lot of money in Joe Johnston's pocket. I did not know what this was, and I saw the trailer, and this could be a lot of fun.
I am not like...
I'm not opposed to this on principle.
I am not opposed to this. When I heard about this, I'm like, I'm probably not going to see this.
Do you have any beloved affection for the original Jumanji?
No, none at all. I think you and I are... I've talked to people slightly younger than us who have a lot of affection for it, and I think it's an age thing. Yeah. And the first Jumanji, I have little to no affection for.
Yeah, it's fine, but this is like...
I saw it once in the theater.
Yeah, this is like... technically, I saw it 7 times in the theater. This is like a video game version of Jumanji.
I saw the trailer for this, and I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, The Breakfast Club.
This looks like it could be a lot of fun. Yeah. I think the take of they're in a video game, I love that these teenagers get all these avatars who are like the beautiful girl has the Jack Black avatar, and like the nerdy guys, the Rock, and
worst case scenario, this becomes like Journey to the Center of the Earth, the Will Ferrell version, where it's like,
Land of the Lost.
Whatever, it's all the same. It's all the same crap.
I don't know. The trailer amused me. Yeah. I think this could be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
As of now, I'm in.
Yeah.
Which brings us to December 22nd. Again, the holiday territory now.
The baitiest of Oscar baits.
Well, some of these aren't Oscar bait. Okay. And let's start with the ones that aren't Oscar bait. Pitch Perfect 3.
Yes.
You're excited about
I'm
this.
in.
Did you like Pitch Perfect 2?
Yeah.
I didn't.
It's delightful.
I thought the first one was good.
Aka, go fuck yourself.
What's going on in Pitch Perfect 3?
They're hitting 30 and their lives are going nowhere, so you got to get the band back together and go sing for the troops.
But are there like fucking assassins?
It doesn't matter. They're going to sing. They'll be delightful. There'll be fat jokes. There'll be blonde jokes. There'll be Asian jokes. All the stereotypes will be there.
Will you be there Christmas Day?
I'll be there Christmas Day adjacent. Is Elizabeth Banks directing this one as well, or did she pull out?
No, she pulled out. She's in it.
Yeah.
She pulled out. So.
And I love Anna Kendrick.
Also not Oscar bait. Have you seen the trailer for, and this is the only Netflix one I'm bringing up, because Netflix put a lot of fucking money into this movie. Bright.
No, what is this?
This is the David Ayers directed, Will Smith starring.
I think I did see this.
He is a cop, but we're living in a Los Angeles where there are fucking orcs and fairies, and guess what? He's got a partner, an orc played by Joel Edgerton, and they got to team up because they found out that there's a fucking magic wand, and a magic wand's a dangerous weapon, and this looks like the biggest piece of garbage.
Let me guess. One of them plays by the book, and the other one plays by his own rules.
Well, I think Will Smith's a little racist against orcs.
Cop,
thing.
Orc, I'm going to need your badge and your wand. He's going to put it down on the chief's table. He's going to storm out.
Written by Max Landis.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah. Who's really... he got lucky with Chronicle, and everything has been just
He got lucky from the genetic lottery. That's how he got lucky. Because his dad was good for 7 years in the 80s.
Yeah, his dad was good for a period of time, and his dad's not even that good.
You didn't like The Stupids?
His dad, what was the last good thing his dad did? Coming to America, probably?
Beverly Hills Cop 3?
Jesus. Anyway.
English or Farsi.
Okay, now let's get to a little more Oscar Beatty stuff coming out that day.
I do my John Landis deep dive.
Happy End, which is a movie I will pretend to know nothing about, or not pretend, that I won't claim to know anything about, except that it is about, it's a family drama starring Isabelle Humbert.
Blues Brothers 2000.
Jesus. A family drama starring Isabelle Humbert, directed by Michael Haneke.
Okay.
So, I don't know anything about it. I know it's
but I'm going to leave upset.
Yes, I am so in. I don't think... Oh, no, Isabelle Humbert was in...
She was in some movie that didn't do very well this year, or didn't get a lot of...
But she was in, as far as Michael Haneke goes, she was in a small part. She played the daughter.
That's right.
But her last really big part in a Haneke film was The Piano Teacher.
Okay, yeah.
So, I am all about this.
Did it show at Cannes? No.
It played at Cannes.
Oh, it did play, okay.
Also that day, Alexander Payne's new film.
Okay.
Downsizing.
Another movie that I will enjoy, watch exactly once, and never think about again.
Do you feel that way with all Alexander Payne?
Every single one of his films except for Election.
Even Sideways.
I've seen it once. I'm fine. Don't need to see it again.
I think Sideways is great.
They're all fine.
Sideways was on the short list for my century.
It's fine. Saw it in the theaters. I saw all of his movies once, and I'm good.
I wasn't that crazy about some of his last films. Like, didn't love The Descendants, and I was not that crazy about Nebraska.
Nebraska I watched on a screener. I didn't even see it in the theaters.
Downsizing, Matt Damon, Kristen Wiig.
Do they buy a zoo?
Nope.
Do they sell a zoo?
No, it's more bizarre than that. It's an overpopulated world where people have decided to downsize themselves by turning themselves miniature.
Honey, I Shrunk the Ego.
Here, just so you get context, you can't see.
What is this? What is this movie?
But here's the thing.
It looks like a Charlie Kaufman.
Oscar Beatty.
Looks like a Charlie Kaufman movie.
Yeah, it does look like a Charlie Kaufman film. But Alexander Payne, I mean, what my hope is, though,
he's never done anything like this. It's been like,
but
even
I'm
like,
hoping that it's back to some more election.
But he's never done anything this goofy. He's never. I mean, that was 15, 20 years ago. Like, all his movies have been. There's too much of a deadly earnestness to all his films.
Well, I'm hoping there's not to this one.
Well, I don't know if he's got the chops for it.
I don't know. He's a pretty talented guy.
We'll see. Downsizing, stupid.
And Steven Spielberg's new film.
Yeah, stupid. Robo-dumb.
No. This is like one of his not...
It's not Ready Player Set.
It's not Ready Player One.
What is he have? What else is this?
The Papers, starring Tom Hanks and Meryl Streep.
Has there been a trailer for this yet?
Nope.
Okay.
It's about the Pentagon Papers.
Exciting stuff.
Yeah. 70s, Nixon era, Spielberg. I mean...
Because he knows he's got a cartoon crappy movie that no one's going to go see, so this is his respectable movie that he's coming out with.
When we get to, I guess, the summer movie preview next year, I've already got some big thoughts on Ready Player One and how it looks like a pile of garbage. But I've seen every Steven Spielberg movie but two. I've never seen 1941, and I haven't seen the BFG, his last one.
It's on Netflix.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to. And you know what's on? You know what's on Turner Classic Movies this week? 1941.
There you go.
I think this week I'm gonna become a Spielberg.
You gotta get the
completist.
paper ready.
I'm gonna be a Spielberg completist.
So this is not to be confused with the Michael Keaton movie from 1994.
That's the paper. This is the papers.
Okay, and not the paper chase.
Not the paper chase.
Okay.
Christmas Day.
Okay.
The Greatest Showman is a musical about P.T. Barnum starring Hugh Jackman.
In his first, post Wolverine role. I saw the trailer for this. It actually looks fun.
I'm sure it's good.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's fine.
He plays like a fabulous bullshit artist.
But it's like a, they're gonna be a bunch of freaks in it.
Yeah.
There'll be elephants, I'm sure. It'll be good. It's original music. That always worries me. Like, it's not like there was some great Broadway show everybody likes.
They basically created this is designed as a Broadway show, but being made as a movie. And then I heard they are going to take it to Broadway afterwards. There's some weird plan with this movie.
You got Zac Efron in it.
Who's also in Water for Elephants.
That was Robert Pattinson.
Oh, whatever.
You got Zendaya.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, who am I kidding? I'm going to see it.
Is a Scorsese movie coming out this fall, or that's
no
spring?
No, it's no Scorsese film. But isn't Scorsese's new film...
The Irishman or something?
Yeah, but that's a Netflix film.
Well, they're going to release it in theaters, I would imagine.
Netflix is...
But they got Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, and...
Netflix is fucking weird, and this is my problem with Netflix.
It'll play at the Santa Monica, at the Lemley
Also,
Santa
by the
Monica.
way, there are probably these great movies on Netflix that I have no awareness of.
No, if there's something good on Netflix, I find it has a way of bubbling up in the conversation.
Well, one last movie.
Yeah.
The untitled P.T. Anderson film.
Do we even know it's coming out this year?
We know it's coming out this year. It's got a Christmas Day release. It is about... Daniel Day-Lewis plays a 1950s London dressmaker.
Okay.
It doesn't have a title.
The Haberdasher.
Supposedly this is going to be Daniel Day-Lewis's last film.
Yeah.
Which he's somebody who says if he's going to retire, I buy it.
Not like Barbra Streisand.
Yeah, do you buy into... We haven't talked about this.
No, I don't.
You don't buy into that?
I say in 7 years he'll get coaxed out to do,
Or maybe Rebecca Miller will...
No, like Steven Spielberg will get him to do something as their swan song. Like 85-year-old Spielberg's going to get him to, I don't know, play Nixon or something.
in a sequel to The Papers.
Yeah.
Look, to me, a P.T. Anderson film is an event.
I just had such a sour taste after Infinite Jest. Nope, that's not what it was called.
That's not what it was. Inherent Vice.
Whatever.
I was out with friend of the show, Jacob Strunk, the other night.
Yeah.
And we were talking about how we are both Inherent Vice apologists.
Well, that's
that
good
we think that people... I've seen it twice now. And I think people wanted that movie to be something that it wasn't.
Yeah, good.
I think that movie is... I don't think it's a great movie. I think it's P.T. Anderson's worst film, but I think it's a very
I think he needed...
film.
I've said this before, that movie suffered from not a big enough budget to, fully realize the Los Angeles of the, 60s that he wanted.
But you're there.
And I want to see, I would have wanted to see the Coen Brothers version of Inherent Vice.
You've seen it. It's Big Lebowski.
No, but, it taking place in the 60s.
I'm just saying that's the thing.
Yeah.
It is meandering like Big Lebowski, and they stumble.
But not as much fun.
No, it's not as much fun. It's not as good a movie.
Nah.
So real fast, here's the problem.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. There's a lot of movies,
Always.
and we just talked about 40 movies, most of which I am going to see. And the problem with this time of year, you fall behind a movie, you're fucked. You're fucked because then there's another weekend, and another weekend goes by, and then you never catch up on movies. And here's my fucking problem. There is a weekend where I've already established there are 5 movies coming out while I am away. I'm going to be out of town. So I am going to come back. I am going to come back from my trip to London and have to catch up. I'm going to be at the movies every fucking night that week.
But you'll be nice and jet lagged.
I will never catch up because, I gotta see Stronger, I gotta see Mother, I gotta see all these fucking things. So this trip is really causing a big problem with my movie watching, and that's why you, London, or this week's enemy of the podcast, go fuck yourself. I mean, what am I gonna do?
Cancel your trip.
Question, Sean. Should I see a movie while I'm in London just to be like, I've never seen a movie in another country?
Yeah, no, it's fun. It's because it's a totally different experience. The theaters there, it's always like a little weird and different. And yeah, definitely go see a movie while you're there.
So
when I travel, I always try to go see a movie while I'm like abroad. Because, like the theaters, they'll have like a laser show or there'll be like a nightclub in the theaters. There's always something weird going on.
I've been looking, it's funny, I've been looking at like some cinemas there, but the ones I keep finding are like the Prince Charles cinema.
Nah, you'll figure it out real fast. Zach will know, and you'll figure it out real fast.
I'm going to ask a stupid question.
Yeah.
Like, can I use Fandango in London?
They have whatever the equivalent is. You'll figure it out real fast. And they have their website, or they'll have something where you can get movie times.
I just need to find out what the Fandango of London is.
Yeah. Trust me, you'll be okay. I'm sure, has Zach seen a movie since he's been there?
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll know. And if he doesn't know, he can text someone in 2 seconds.
Okay. So which one should I see when I'm there?
Well, it depends what's out.
Should I see Kingsman?
Probably, yes.
Like, that seems like the one to see while I'm in London.
I think that's what you need to do.
So, Sean, before we end here, what movies, what are like your top 3? Let's leave Star Wars out of it.
Blade Runner 2049. Oh, what the hell else did we discuss?
Disaster Artist?
Disaster Artist.
For me.
And I don't know. I mean, a lot of this is so dependent on the trailers and the reviews. I mean, there's a lot of potentially good stuff coming out, but there's nothing that I know enough about where I'm like, oh, I absolutely need to see this the second it comes out.
I think we're in store. I think this has been a very good year for film, and I think we're in store for a really
And also, I think
fall.
something's going to sneak up on us, too. It's like something's going to come out of nowhere that we weren't expecting. It always happens, and it's going to, grab some thunder.
Disaster Artist for me.
Yeah.
The Shape of Water, I'm very looking forward to. I don't want to say, like, Killing of a Sacred Deer, because I really don't even know what it's about.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's like, okay, there's a lot of good potential, but there's nothing yet that I've seen that I'm just dying to see.
Same thing with the P.T. Anderson movie. I'm kind of dying to see it, but I don't know anything
I don't know anything about it, it doesn't really exist yet.
If I want to go for then, other than Star Wars, a pure fun one, I'll go with Ragnarok.
Okay.
For just, like, a pure, like, fun. But Star Wars is really the number one. And
all right.
I'm buying 4 tickets to Star Wars. I'm just going. I'm getting them. I don't know what theater. It doesn't matter.
No, we got to bring this. Someone's mom's in town. We got to.
I'm buying 4 tickets. One of them's for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, Sean, where can the people find you?
At the Sean David.
And you can find me at The Real Will Link. You can also see me September 9th at Open Space. I'm doing a show, reading a brand new essay. It's going to be good, people. On the show, next week, we got Misha Fisher coming back. He's a returning champion. He used to be a terrific storyteller. Now he's a terrific stand-up comedian. We're going to talk about the transition, because it is a transition. You got to operate.
Is this his 3rd time on our show?
2nd time.
Okay.
So we're excited to have him on, talk about, because it is very different. And the week after that, I'm in London, so it's not going to be Will Sean Podcast. It's going to be Sean Podcast.
We're going to have a special guest. It won't be Will Link.
And the reason why we're not just skipping a show in time is because that's the week of the Emmys. So people need to talk about the Emmys.
Yeah, we can't leave you guys hanging, so we're going to be taking care of business.
All right.
Be good.
That's it.
For the Will Sean Podcast, I'm Sean David.
I'm Will Link.
We're finished.
We're finished.